Guatsi Hopa and Bonjour. My name is Michael Ray. I'm the director of the American Indian Program. We want to welcome you to the first of our Meet the Dean series. So one of the things we wanted to do was meet with the various deans of our university to understand the university system a little bit better. We know that when students apply to NMSU and they are accepted, the world's knowledge about how a university runs is not magically beamed into our heads. So this is the first of our series when it comes to talking with the deans, and we'll start off with the College of Agriculture, Consumer and Environmental Sciences, and Dean Rolando Flores, as he talks about some of the things that he gets to do as being a dean, but also some of the things that he wished that he would have been able to do through his educational journey. So join us as we have a conversation with the dean.
Well, I'm Rolando Flores, and I'm the Dean of the College of Agricultural, Consumer, and Environmental Sciences. I have been here for 4 years and about 2 months. I came from the University of Nebraska, Lincoln, where I spent about half of my life in the Midwest, not in Lincoln, but in the Midwest in general. I'm originally from Costa Rica. Left Costa Rica about 36 years ago, and I have been in the U.S. since that time, and I've been delighted to come here toward the climax of my career, to come here as a dean of the ACES College, which is Agricultural, Consumer, and Environmental Sciences. So.
We know the job of the dean is very immense and it has a lot of different moving parts. So who are the other deans that help make the college run smoothly?
It differs from the other colleges because we really are a snapshot of the land grant system. Because we do have teaching, we have research, and that's what all the colleges have. But in addition to that, we have extension. And extension is a separate, it is an organization that is part of the university, funded by the legislature, and because of that, we have offices in every single county of the state. So extension does a lot of programs with youth, programs with elderly, programs, many different type of programs that are associated with the wealth or of the stakeholders of New Mexico. So that's the first thing, that when you go to the College of ACES, that's the first thing you see. Okay, they are divided in 3. So we have an associate dean for every area. The associate dean for academics, which includes 8 departments, is Don Connor, and he came to us from Auburn University about over a year ago. Then we have John Boren, that has been with Extension in that role for many years. I don't know, maybe over 10 years probably. And then we have the Associate Dean for Research in the college, which is also the Director of the Agricultural Experiment Station, is Dr. Leslie Edgar. She came to us in May from Georgia State University. So there is another component in this, because the extension, as extension is independently funded by the legislature, also the legislature funds the Agricultural Experiment Station. And this is part of the agreement with the federal government that the state of New Mexico signed at one point in time when the land-grant universities were formed. So what we have is, it shows the role of the agriculture in all of this. So under Dr. Edgar are the science centers. There are 12 distributed all around the university, the state of New Mexico. We have one center that is in Navajo land, which is the Farmington Center. We work very close with NAPI. We also have different centers all around. And we have one here in Las Cruces and another one close to Las Cruces in Mesa and Linedecker.
Popular culture has really not put the dean's office in the greatest of light. You really see it as a more reactive place to go or a disciplinary place to go. So what are some of the ways that the dean's office can be used by students in a more proactive way, so that way it's utilized as a resource as opposed to a means of last resort?
And I understand for what a student come and start looking at an organization. Oh, I'm in the College of Agriculture. Oh, I'm in the College of Business. And what does it mean? But I just want to get a degree. So what does it mean? So when a student, first of all, my office doors are open to any student at any time for anything that they need. And that's directly in Gerald Thomas, the second floor, 210. Any student that wants to visit with me are welcome. When a student has issues with enrollment, with courses, with that the department has not solved the issues and the advisor has not solved it, so the first step is to go and visit with the Associate Dean for Academic Programs, is Don Connor. That's the first stop. And if they have questions about scholarships, if they have questions about courses that they belong, or if they want to participate in some of the activities of the College of Agriculture, the student activities, that's the number one office to visit. Now, if they are interested in finding a job in the summer, for example, well, yeah, obviously they can talk with that office too, but also if they want to explore, let's say that a student is from Rio Arriba and they want to find out what opportunities do they have either in the extension office or in one of the science centers, let's say in Alcalde or so on. So they can go and visit with anyone in the associate deans in research or extension. But if the entry door is for students is with the associate dean of academic programs. We have several programs that we haven't paid special attention. With COVID, a lot of things got turned around, but the fact of the matter is that we're still very interested that our students in the college, when they graduate, they have three things in addition to the subject matter. First, that they have had an internship, that they have an opportunity to go and work one summer with a company or in a ranch or whatever it is. Second, that they have an exposure, an opportunity, even if they don't take it, to have overseas experience. So, for example, we coordinated, I think it was a year ago, a group of about 12 Native Americans that went to Guatemala during the spring break. And we coordinated that to two offices that we have in the college. The Aggies Go Global, which that office works for all the colleges, and then the Indian Resource Program. And then, so we have individuals that are leading those programs specifically. And the third item that we want every student to have when they graduated is exposure to entrepreneurship. And we are working with the Arrowhead Center. If you tell me, give me examples of how this is going. Let me tell you, I've been here for years and it's tough to get things going. But those are our goals, and that is what we have in our LEADS 2025, and that's what we have in the strategic plan of the college. So if a student is in plant and environmental science, you say, well, I have never heard about any one of these. Well, go and visit directly with the department head and ask them about these three options, because it is a commitment to try to, sometimes we cannot find internships, so you have to wait. But it's important that from the get-go, from the first year, a student start planning that. Yeah, I know that we have an advising office that is for everything. But a student do the advising, but at the same time should go to the department where they want to get the degree, visit with the department head, and find a faculty member that is going to be his or her mentor through the process.
Now, Dean, what are some of the ways or some of the advice that you can give incoming students, maybe current students, but also those who have graduated already.
Absolutely. I think we need to look at the state of a student as an undergraduate program as the basis of a solid permanent relationship with the college and with the department. So that when the student leaves, knows that he or she can come for advice, can come for, Mr. Department Head, I lost my job. Do you know of anything that I could have? That is valid part of the system, but that's after they graduate. The important thing is when a student put a foot at the university, the first thing they do is, like I said, find out all the ropes, because I'm a first generation student, university, college student. So when I went, no one in my family knew anything about college. So I could have done some things better in my first year that it would have optimized my process, but I didn't because I didn't know how it is. So the first thing a student because when a student comes here, this is a huge place. Even though we are a small university in terms of numbers compared with other universities of the Midwest of the US, this is big and this is impressive. A lot of buildings, a lot of walking. So how do I get to that? My advice is for every student to go and knock at the door to the department head of the department, or the plan of the career they want to go. The department heads, I can tell you, they are committed to the students' success. So the department head will guide them to who will be the faculty that they could do. Because when I was telling you about the three objectives, separate objectives that we want from a student to, in addition to the subject matter, to get, the entrepreneurship experience, the international exposure, and the internship, you need to plan them from the moment they put a foot at the university. Because if we want a student to graduate in 4 or 5 years, okay, when are you going to do the international experience? Are you going to wait for the 3rd or 4th year? And if they wait, well, the 4th year probably is when you're going to start your 4th year, the summer before is when you want to go and do the internship. Because the internship should be the door that opens a job. A lot of places, they are looking for our students. And if a student goes dedicated and a student gets the internship, student can gain a couple of things. First of all, oh my goodness, this is not what I wanted. And then they can go and restructure the plan. Or this is what I like, but I don't want this company. So there are other type of companies. So immediately they remove something out of the checklist. Or I like this company. And the student work hard, and I can guarantee you the companies or the organizations look for people that do good in internships. In the agribusiness area, everyone that is hiring look for students that have had some contact, some experience. For example, if a student decides, well, I want to graduate in food science and I wanted to go and work in the flour mill in the Napi, in the Navajo Nation. But then they go and they start working there and they realize that it's from 8 to 5, going up and down in the mill, adjusting equipment. It is a dust environment. Oh, this is not for me. Or another one will say, yeah, this is for me. So it is extremely important that they get the internship. But in order to get the internship when you're going to start your senior year, what are you going to do the other summers? Okay, when are you going to put the international experience? And when I say to a global experience, I'm not saying go to Juarez and spend a week there. No, it could be going to Juarez or going to other places because we are blessed by being a border town. So you need to plan that. So my advice to the students is, first thing, as soon as you put the foot here at the university, go and knock at the door at the department. Sometimes the students don't have defined what they want. They say, well, I don't know if I want to go to engineering or I don't want to go to agriculture. Well, go to both places. knock at both doors and find out what it is. We do not want to retain the students here. We have one goal here: the student graduates and get a job, or get a family business, or get his own business. But that is our goal.
So during your educational career, did you have the opportunity to utilize the dean's office?
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't, because I had no clue. I had no clue what to do. I went to the university. Let me give you an example. I went to the University of Costa Rica, okay? I was the first in my family, I was the first graduate in my whole family from high school. So that tells you, from then on, I was the first one on everything. But even finishing high school, and at that point, my parents said, well, I don't know. But the only thing they did is say, you need to study. It doesn't matter what you like or not. You need to study. So toward my second or third year, I realized that those offices exist, that there was a dean, and that there was a department head. So I mostly worked with the department head office, because that's where they guide me most. And then through that, I was able to get a job, and I was a TA. So you learn by, the only way to learn how to swim, you can read books about swimming. The only way is to jump in the water. Of course, you have to be careful where you jump, because you can go jump in a river that takes you away and kill you. But you have to use your common sense, but you have to go for it. So the department heads, I think, is critical to work with the students.
Now we know that there's a lot of different pathways to various careers. Was the deanship something that you were aiming for in your educational and your career goals?
Well, before I came here, I was department head for 10 years in the University of Nebraska. So and before that, I was a scientist with the USDA, and I was a faculty member at 2 other universities. So I found that I could work in administration, and that I could contribute to the administration, because I have worked in extension, I have worked in teaching and research, I had developed courses from nothing. And I was for 5 years, I was a scientist with the USDA. So I had a lot of elements that it will help me to go into administration. And after I was 10 years in administration in the University of Nebraska, I wanted to contribute more, and especially when the opportunity came of New Mexico, because of the most diverse state in the union, I think so, and the opportunity to get closer to a culture I left that culture for many, many years, and the opportunity to contribute to the progress of the state. That's what brought me here. And I think I bring all those components. So it's not just a strictly an academic endeavor, because I also work in a private business at one point in time.
Kind of like we were talking about beforehand, what are some of those misconceptions about the dean's office that you'd like to clear up?
Well, the first thing is that we are there to help the students. And if a student doesn't know where to go to the dean's office. And there will be people that, or the dean that will guide them. The other thing is, like I mentioned to you, I have this other experience. And the students get surprised when they realize, oh, I can talk to the dean. Oh, look at that. The dean has a food science degree, and I want to get into food science. Or the dean speaks another language, and I speak that language too. So, first of all, the concept that the hierarchy in the university is this ivory tower is totally wrong. And I'm not going to lie to you. Oh, there are some faculty members and some perhaps department heads or deans that they might think that that's it. Oh, you have to get. Sometimes the deans are not available because of a bunch of appointments that are happening, or because of all the activities. Because when things don't get decided at the department head level, guess what happens? It moves up. So did you have 8 departments? So every one of those keeps moving up. The office of the dean is to guide policy, to bring policy. And right now we're dealing with budgets. We're figuring out how we're going to do all this. How do we maintain? Because the fact of the matter is the budget get cut, but the priorities is still there. So how do we work on that? So that's what it is. So I think a student shouldn't be afraid. First of all, a student should, I understand when a student is shy, when you come from a family that you're the first one putting a food in a university, how is this? And then you have these ideas of, oh, there is the president, the chancellor, the provost, and it keeps going in the ladder. And then the dean, look at that, the dean is like third or is the fourth on the ladder over there. So, but if you are aware, you know that President Flores, Chancellor Arvizu are extremely accessible people. They go and they talk. If they don't get a chance to visit with someone, it's because of the load of things. When I wait sometimes a couple of hours in my email and I say, oh, I'm up to speed with the email, in 2 hours you get 60 emails more. And sometimes they don't need attention, but there is also the tendency in an administrative system, copy the dean so you save your neck, copy the dean, and that doesn't work like that.
We know the dean's office has a lot of different things coming through the doors. What are some of the challenging parts of being a dean, but also what are some of those exciting parts about being a dean at a college?
Well, I'm telling you, every challenge is an opportunity. When there is a challenge, it's because something didn't work. So it needs to be fixed, and we need to. So the opportunity to make things move. For example, let me tell you the mission of the college. The mission of the College of ACES is to be an engine for the economic and community development of New Mexico through teaching, research, and extension. So economic development and community development, it goes beyond the borders, the campus, or all the offices of the campus. So I measure what is the success that we have by the impact that we cause in the positive impact, hopefully not negative, in the communities, in the students, in every New Mexican. When we are talking about COVID-19 and we see how, well, I used to go and buy a pound of ground meat and it cost me this much and now it's costing this much. God, those ranchers are making a lot of money. Well, it happens that the ranchers are not making money because the plants are not buying. So then when they don't buy, the supply increases, the price goes down. So then how come me as a consumer, I'm paying more? So that's a big challenge. How do we work? So because the number one job of the university is to teach, to educate students. Without that, we will be a research center only, or a corporate extension program. But we are the three of them. So we need to combine all those things. So as a dean from my office, the first thing that you see is when you're able to attract younger junior faculty to take the lead in some specific areas. For example, being able to get the Center of Excellence in Sustainable Food and Agricultural Systems going. That was something that we started last year with some funding that the governor had available. That is great because we wanted to create opportunities, we create jobs. So then that goes beyond the teaching. The fact that we want those three goals, entrepreneurship, global experience, and internship in the students, we're not there. But that's our goal. So as a dean, having to push those things is great. So there is, the time demands are big. And I'm not saying that are bigger than yours, Because I can guarantee you, you check your email or your text at night, during the weekends, we all do that. So we are all doing more than what it's not an 8 to 5 job. Sometimes people get, oh, you got a cushy job at the university. Oh, that's great. You work only 9 months. No way. We work 12 months, and we work Sundays and Saturdays. But we do that because we enjoy it. Otherwise, you better go and find some other type of job.
Now, I've been able to ask a couple of different questions. What are some of the things that you would want us to know about the College of ACES that I might not have asked yet?
Well, first of all, that the College of Agriculture is here to serve all New Mexicans. It has been brought up to my attention that sometimes students don't feel welcome in the College of Agriculture because they don't have an agricultural background, or because there is a tradition of serving specifically certain groups in the state. And this is not new. You see that in other places. Came from Nebraska, and there is that tradition that if you don't come from a farm background, you don't have a place there. Well, what happened is this. The college serves every single New Mexican here. And agriculture is not just going back to the farm and working a family farm. That's one of the things that you can do. But the agriculture is fundamental part of the food chain. And the food chain starts in the farm while the seed is planted and ends with your health. Why? Because the food products, the products that are produced in the farm, you plant a seed, the seed grows, you harvest that product, you process that product. Okay, wait a second. Between processing and harvesting, there is transportation. Okay, who takes care of that? Logistics. Who takes care of processing? That is food scientists, food at a different time. And then it comes in marketing. And then you go ag economics. And then it comes to in the packaging and all of that, how it's served to the consumer. But wait a second. Is this food going to hurt the individual or not? Because we're dealing with big issues right now, and let me address that in a minute. So, and at the end of the day, if we want to plant and have a product here in the farm or the ranch that is going to impact you in your health, that you don't have to go to a hospital, that you don't have to become ill, that is our goal. So there is a big process where you can go. And we're talking about dietitian, we're talking about nutritionists, we're talking about teachers, we're talking about teachers in high school, teachers in the universities, we're talking about economists, we're talking about agricultural engineers, we're talking a big system. So the interesting thing of this is that when the land grant system was created in the late 1800s, 70% of the population of this country was dedicated to agriculture. That means that 7 out of 10 needed to work producing food for 10. Nowadays, 1.8 to 2% of the population of this country only work in agriculture. And look at that, I'm defining the agricultural system pretty wide. So that means that the College of Agriculture not only deals with the food production, it deals with the environment. One of the departments that is, in terms of, the college is, then the other thing is, the college traditionally serves certain groups. Well, that was the past. Unfortunately, the faculty that we have not all look like our student body. Our student body is about 55% Hispanic, 3% in the college are Native Americans, then 67% are female. So when you look at these percentages, so the farmers of the future, out of 10 farmers or ranchers or people working in agriculture, close to 7 are going to be female. So that is changing what is happening. So unfortunately, our faculty doesn't look like them, but it's moving forward on that. And it's not that you have to look, I have to look like you so that you can learn or you can learn from me. No, but it's to create that level of comfort and understanding how those questions you were asking me at the beginning, how a student feels when they put a foot at the university. My goodness, if you go to a department and everyone looks one color straight on one gender, and you are not, you don't feel comfortable. You don't feel at home. But I can tell you that our faculty, and I'm not going to tell you 100% because there is always one or two that they do, try to do their best to make the students comfortable. And if they don't succeed on that, is because they are not doing it purposely. But it is our goal to make students feel comfortable because every student that comes to the college needs a good environment to learn and to educate themselves. How are you going to go back home and study when you don't feel comfortable with the faculty member?
Very true. But also, hindsight being 2020, what advice would you give to your past self, knowing what you know now as maybe an undergraduate and as a graduate?
What I would have done differently is what we're talking about. Take advantage of all the opportunities and programs that are there. And I didn't know about that. I thought that it was just only go try to swim and survive and try to graduate. But there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of programs that if you get to know as an undergraduate and don't get shy because you say, oh, I don't have money. I cannot afford a trip to Peru or anywhere. I cannot afford, oh, they are not going to like me because I don't have a farm background. No. Learn. Try to, with the same emphasis that you might put into some other things, find out what the university has to offer. My daughter, when she went to college, the youngest one, from day one, she had it that clear. Obviously, she heard that for a long time. And she took advantage of every single opportunity. And she extended 1 year more her degree because she did an internship, an international experience, and so many of those things. No, she did a co-op program, which was a year. And then he did an internship in the top of that. So when she graduated, she already knew what she wanted and where to go, and she got the job offers waiting for her. So that's what I would suggest. Find out. There are offices here that in every office, go and ask, what programs do you have here for the undergraduate students? I'm a Hispanic first generation. What programs do you have? What programs do you have for Native Americans? What programs do you have for children of farmers or ranchers? There is a lot of those things. And keep asking and trying. Yeah. Well, it's funny. As a graduate student, sometimes you feel they are at the bottom of the totem pole because you not only have to study, but as a graduate student, you have to do research, and you just get paid barely to go to this. And it's not because the faculty member or the university want to exploit you. No, it's because that's what it is. It's very low. But you have to tune your expectations a little bit different. And the degree of intensity is higher than in an undergraduate. But at the end of the day, it's about the same. The most important thing when you put a foot at the university, besides Learning about how the things are is learn how to study and learn how to manage your time. And there are places and people that can help you on that. If you learn that early in the game, things can be different. It took me a year to learn that, and you pay for that. But that is because if you learn how to study, how to manage your time, how to manage your money, and how to find out what is available, and the transition to a graduate student, to become a graduate student, it might be very easy, or you might want it to go and work and then come back. That's what I did. I went, graduated, went to work for 4 years, come back to the university, got my master's, went back to work, and then come back and did my PhD. So I put 4 years in between. And your perspective is drastically different than if you go straight through. My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
And we thank you for being a part of our Meet the Dean series. We also want to say a big thank you to Dean Flores and his staff for allowing us the time to be with him and kind of, again, demystify the university setting, but also give a little bit of time so the deans can have that opportunity to welcome and invite the students if the students didn't think that they had that opportunity. As Dean Flores mentioned, always go there, ask questions, but also be brave, be bold enough to take that next step. So for the American Indian Program, we thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again.